Okay, guys, you know what? Mama needs a timeout.
Hey guys, it's Nick, and I got Lex with me here.
Hey.
Welcome back to Mom's Wine Out and our third episode, Let It Go. This episode we're going to be talking to you guys about mindfulness and how we incorporate it into our daily life routine to help us better manage our balance. If you remember episode 1, balancing, our work, mom, wife life. So before we get into all of that, let's go ahead and check in with each other. So Lex, how's it going, man?
Going good. My high for the week. I was able to put my son into a summer camp, which made me really happy.
A beautiful summer camp.
Yes, gorgeous.
I'm super bummed Big B didn't get to do it this year, but for next year for sure.
He's fine.
Yeah.
He's fine. Yeah. Big B.
Yeah.
What is Big B up to?
Big B is up at Camp Gigi's, which is my mother's for the summer. It's been working out really well, and he's loving it. And
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure he's
not living the good life, basically.
Getting that kid back. At least not the version that's at Camp Gigi, but we can, go into that later. He's
living a good life right now.
Yeah,
but
yeah, traitor.
My high was getting my son into that little summer camp because he really enjoys it. Low for this week, man. Maybe it's just the wine talking, but I actually can't think of any lows.
Yeah.
Yay for wine.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that's pretty good.
Once my buzz wears off, I'm sure I'll have something.
You'll have a lot of lows.
Yeah.
A lot of lows coming that way.
Those lows will come rolling out.
Yeah. For me, let's see, the high this week. You know what? I'm gonna give it to old Gigi, and I'm gonna give it the high of Big B having a great summer with my mom and dad, enjoying times with them, and just really getting a great summer experience. So that's definitely my high. My low, I'm not getting this full summer experience. And
you know what? I think that's my low too. Is watching the videos and the pictures of your son.
My summer fun at,
That's been my low.
Like, that's my low. I'm stuck here. You wonder, about those things. Like, one, who is this kid that's amazing and doesn't argue or has tantrums or is just little angel sent from above?
Yep.
And then secondly, where the hell was my fun time when I was a kid?
He's doing something new every day.
Oh, for sure.
Every day.
For sure.
Horseback riding.
Yeah.
Like you said, the guitar lessons, coffee house.
Yeah.
Performances.
Oh, this kid. I'm a little jealous, but it's okay. I'll just have to have grandkids one day and spoil them so rotten that my kids are like, "What the hell, Mom?" And I'll be like, "You know what? Blame your Gigi." But anyways, so that's kind of my high and low.
Good.
Yeah. So, episode 3, mindfulness.
Being a mindful mama.
Yeah, you want to explain what mindfulness is to our audience?
Wasn't prepared for this.
You picked the topic.
Yes, but I didn't know how to explain it. Well, to me, mindfulness is just being self-aware.
Yeah.
Being self-aware.
Present.
Being present, in the present moment.
Mm-hmm.
Which, when I first heard that years ago, I thought that's so stupid. Of course, we're always in the present moment, whether we want to be or not. But I guess being mindful is cognizantly and purposefully being in the present moment and just realizing that this is what we have, the now. The now is always here. And I know in my journey, being mindful has really helped me a lot. I used to think that being mindful was something kind of woo-woo or kind of selfish.
Yeah.
I'll be mindful when I have time to be mindful, or when I have the resources, or when I have the money. I mean, but I've come to realize that being mindful is really almost a gateway to those things that you long for.
I think for me, mindfulness is really being engaged with the present and looking at the now. And somebody like myself whose main job is basically planning, I'm constantly having to plan out the next 6 months to a year. So for me, it's very difficult sometimes to pull myself back and look at what's in front of me and what's in the present. And it's been a long road for me to be able to do that as well too. Training my mind to appreciate simple processes of just breathing in and out, or looking at a tree, or taking a moment. And we're so much a society now that dependent on social media and posting and being on our phones and showing off the world, but like not having technology in my path and enjoying my son smiling at me, or just even the smell of coffee brewing in the morning. But yeah, I mean, I think you really were one of the ones that introduced me to the whole mindfulness experience, along with my therapist. Yeah, I mean, it's something that's always been out there for many years, but I think it's just really starting to gain attention in mainstream media, especially with just how crazy the world is nowadays, and how not in our control our society is. And we've seen such a rise in diagnosis with depression, anxiety, OCD. That's something that I dealt with again, after the birth of my second son. And I think we all have had our trials and tribulations, and mindfulness has kind of helped ground some of those issues for at least me. I can say, I can't say for everybody, but it's, and I think what's interesting is what we'll go into is we practice, mindfulness is just a practice, but how you practice is really up to you.
That's for sure. We've spoken about this in previous episodes. I'm a complete, total introvert. So the way that I prefer to practice mindfulness somewhat differs from Nick's way. And
you have more patience. You can get lost.
It's not even patience. That's just my preference.
That's true. That's true.
But it's funny because, so I discovered meditation years ago, but it never made sense to me, because meditation, I mean, surely there has to be something more productive I can be doing. It just, it boggled my mind that sitting still for more than, for any amount of time could be productive in any way.
I felt like it was a setup. Like,
right?
When we were taking that yoga class with our friend, and like we would have the moment of like the asana, the ending, the ending one. When you're in those last few moments of the class and you're unwinding, I would hate it, because it was like, what's the point of this? Why should I relax? Because it's not going to last. It's going to be only 15 minutes. Like, there's no point. But eventually, I've learned there is a point. So,
when I started meditating, I guess about, has it been, I guess it's been a couple of years ago. I've started with the apps, the free apps, and I still continue to use those. But, there was a time, I think I went 80 days, 79 days without a break. And I loved it, and it was great. And it's so funny how meditation actually works to make you more focused, works to make you more productive. And it's so weird. It's so counterintuitive, especially for someone like us who, we're both a little bit of a workaholic. I think we've drawn back a bit from that, but in the past years, as we've mentioned on past episodes, I mean, we'd stay at work till 8 or 9 o'clock at night.
Nothing.
And that was normal for us. I mean, that was just, despite having children, despite having husbands who wanted us home. So it's very counterintuitive to believe that sitting still for any amount of time could be of any use to anybody.
Oh, for sure.
But once I started meditating, I became so productive. Oh my gosh, I was working full time. That's when I started my master's program, and I was doing it easily. I have to say.
Oh yeah, for like hours.
Yeah, I mean, what, you talking about meditation or
for you? Yeah, for you.
Oh
like,
yeah.
Remember you? I mean,
I
like
could meditate for 2 hours easily.
Oh God, no.
I loved it. And
God, shoot me, like literally shoot me.
And I think that has to do with part of my personality.
Yeah.
That was my alone time. That
Yeah.
was my me time. So I loved it. And I'm very fortunate to have a husband who was supportive of it.
Yep.
And he would, watch the kids, tell him Mama's resting, Mama's doing her little weird meditation. Whatever you got to tell them, I don't care.
Yeah.
But I feel like it's gotten me through a lot. I mean, I've been through a couple of deaths, one in the family, one within the workplace. Mm-hmm. And I feel like meditation really got me through that. Yeah. Now, that being said, it's funny because lately I have been rebelling against meditation. And I don't know why, or I think I kind of finally figured it out. So when I was meditating, I was in the most productive period of my life.
Yeah.
I mean, I was juggling so many things.
Oh,
and
yeah.
doing it very well, in my opinion, and not with a lot of effort. It's so weird to say that, because I was working hard.
Yeah.
But it didn't feel like it.
Yeah.
Now, right now, I'm just kind of in this, I don't know if this is the right word for it, but I feel like I'm kind of in this funk.
Yeah.
But I want to be in the funk.
But you know what? That's okay.
Yeah, I agree.
You have to appreciate the funk.
You do.
To understand the peace.
Ooh, I like that.
Trademark. Does that cover it?
Wait, say that again?
You have to understand the funk
to appreciate the peace.
peace.
Whoa.
Mind blown.
No, and that's actually how I feel right now. For the past year, I mean, I was doing so much, and I really do believe that meditation had a part of that. And so I think now my brain and my body is just kind of saying, you know what? I don't want to do that. I don't want to be that productive. And so it's almost like rebelling against the meditation. That being said, I still do meditate, but I just don't do it every day.
Yeah.
And
you found your balance to it.
Well, I think I will probably go back to it, but at this point I almost feel like I'm scared to go back because I kind of enjoy
being in the funk.
I really do. I don't know what it is.
It's like one of those people that, like myself, like there's more comfort in chaos than there is in peace. You know what I mean? Because with chaos, there's always something to keep your mind busy. And it's something I work on. I promise you. I have a problem always functioning at an executive functioning level thinking. Okay. Meaning that I'm always processing. I'm always in my head. I'm always thinking. And it exhausts me.
Yeah,
it exhausts me to a point. So the way that I've incorporated mindfulness, I do meditation, but honestly, I do not have the, I don't want to say the time because technically I do, but I don't have the patience to sit.
It's not your jam.
It's not your jam. The way that traditional meditation works. Okay. I've found my way with meditation, but which for me is more processing my thoughts versus clearing my mind. Because it's very difficult for me to clear my mind, but allowing my thoughts to come through that I'm during a meditation and actually processing the emotion and connecting to that has helped me immensely, because one of the things that I avoid is emotion, because it's to me it's a moment of weakness. And so being able to allow my body and my mind to connect to one and process through the feeling, the emotion, allowing my mind to think it through, whatever it may be, has been very beneficial for me. So I don't like being there for maybe 30 minutes. I can do maybe 15, 20 minutes tops.
Oh, that's not bad. That's good.
Yeah, but letting that really go through. But again, I'm always in higher level thinking. So one of the things...
You like to fix things.
I do. I'm a fixer.
You're a fixer.
I'm a fixer.
You're a fixer.
And I'm also a planner. So it's like I'm always thinking at that executive level. So one of the things I work with my therapist is kind of bringing it back to your lower level thinking. So some of the things that I do is I'll, when I find myself being in my head too much and I don't have a moment to meditate, I start counting things around me, kind of like when you're having a panic attack or something. They say to kind of say 5 things that are around you, say, 4 things that you smell, you kind of touch base with your senses. So basically that's what I do. I'll count trees, or I'll count signs, or I'll count something.
You almost have to keep your brain going.
I have to bring it back down to, I can't let it go over, obsessive compulsive, because I do suffer from a little bit of that. And if I get something in my head, then it can just kind of replay in there, and it's kind of shaking my brain up and saying, hey, get back to what's important and what's in front of you, and don't get stuck on what could be. Look at what is. And, doing little activities like that really help, with that version of meditation for me, more processing versus clearing. Because eventually it does clear my mind, because I process it through and I let it go and I move on. And but
you process it.
Yes.
And I think that's the...
Yes.
Whereas with me, I don't necessarily process it. I almost just kind of let it go from the beginning.
Oh, I can't.
And, well, I couldn't. And then, I don't know where. I guess oh gosh. Are we going to go here?
I think that's what the people want.
So, I don't know if anybody else is familiar with Brooke Castillo. She has been one of my lifelines through this journey of mine. She has a podcast called The Life School. What is it? Life Coaching School with Brooke Castillo.
Yeah, it's a good one.
We'll put a reference in the notes for anyone who's interested. But she really has been my lifeline, and I still remember, because I used to always just be in my head. And the one little thing that she mentioned, something about basically it's all in your head. It really is, which kind of helps and kind of doesn't, because then it kind of almost puts the guilt back on you. Well, so you're saying this is all in my head? Great. So I'm just crazy.
Yeah.
But it's true. One of the things she mentioned was, for example, if somebody says, "Oh, I hate your blue hair. Your blue hair looks so ridiculous. You look so stupid with blue hair. Why do you have that blue hair?" Well, if somebody tells you that, and if you have blue hair, I'm very sorry. This is not going to pertain to me.
It's a little pointed.
Wow. Okay, so Nick does not have blue hair.
No.
If I were to tell her that,
I did though, when I was like 16.
But she doesn't now. So if I were to tell her that now, she wouldn't be offended by that. She wouldn't probably be affected by it at all, because it's not true.
Yeah.
But who is it not true to?
Yeah.
It's not true to her.
Yeah.
So basically, if you are feeling offended, loved, anything by anything that anyone else says, that's all on you.
Yep.
If you believe it, it's true, and if you don't believe it, it's not true. And I hope I'm saying this right, because Brooke Castillo generally doesn't have half a bottle of wine in her when she's talking.
Oh yeah, did she give up drinking?
I think so. Yeah, you're right.
You
actually,
skipped that episode.
Yeah, I skipped that up. Sorry, Brooke Castillo. But it really just kind of put it back on me that, wow, we really are in charge of how we feel.
Yes.
It is nobody else's responsibility but our own.
Yep.
As to whether we feel good, bad, or whatever. And I think that's kind of where it all started for me.
So was there like a breaking point for you? Like, what made you reach out to this? Because I know it did it for me, so I just, wanted to share your reasoning for opening yourself up to mindfulness.
I think for me it was quite gradual.
Yeah.
But no,
well, for me, before baby number 2, I would say everything was hogwash and I was fine.
Yeah.
And I was just doing me, boo, doing me. But basically, I had baby number 2 and I dealt with, I guess it was postpartum. Baby number 1, I didn't have postpartum. A little bit of the baby blues, but nothing that knocked me on my ass. Well, after little B, it knocked me on my ass and like kicked me down the street. So his whole pregnancy, I was very anxious. I had super high anxiety levels. The demands on what I was doing in this new job were very much laxed to what I was used to. So where work used to accompany almost 24 hours of my brain space, it no longer was the case. And so now my mind was searching, and things that I had not processed in my past, because I'm very much a shut it down type person and move on, started coming up, and I was diagnosed, I can't even remember what the official name is, but it's basically hypochondria. I literally thought I was dying almost every single day. If it wasn't from a blood clot, then it was going to be from like...
It was everything.
Basically,
everything was going to kill you, yeah.
Yeah, basically, yeah. And I mean, I'm not talking like, oh, I'm going to die, I'm so tired. Like, I'm talking like, literally, I went to the emergency room maybe 4 or 5 times during that pregnancy, unrelated to the baby at all. And the weird thing about it is that I had experienced 2 miscarriages before I had my first son. And when I was pregnant with my first, my biggest fear was something happening to the baby, of course. Yeah. I mean, I had lost 2 pregnancies, you know, it's the main concern. Mm-hmm. Baby B, I knew I knew he was okay. There was nothing that I was ever worried about him. It was all something was going to happen to me. Mm-hmm. And so after I had him, I had some issues breastfeeding, some pain in my breasts. And, you know, of course, what does anybody do? They go on and they look on the internet and they try to self-diagnose to kind of feel better. I found out about this very rare breast cancer that affects very little under the age of 50, but, you know, it is...
you can always be a statistic.
Yes,
it's always
exactly,
scary.
Exactly.
It doesn't matter.
So, of course, I'm freaking out. I literally think I'm going to die. I think I have this very rare breast cancer that very few survive from, and that I'm never going to get to see my baby or my children grow. You know, and I had to kind of go to a very dark and scary place in my mind, where it came to the point where I had to get outpatient treatment with a great, I don't want to say mental, but like
this is after you have your baby.
Yeah, this is after. Is after. You know, a lot of it I do contribute to postpartum. A lot of it I do contribute to my birth father, my father, who is very active in my life. One of my best friends, I would say, passed away when I was 23. So a lot of unresolved feelings surrounding that, and, you know, emotional damage that I never probably really got proper care for when it happened. And then also just the fear of the unknown and not being able to be there for my children now that I had 2 little lives that depended on me. I kind of had to hit rock bottom very quickly, because that is not my personality at all. I hate being in a negative space. If I'm in a bad mood, I always tell my husband, let me just be pissed off. I'll process it and I'll be good afterwards. Like, as soon as it's done, I let it go. I'm never one to really hold on to bad things.
But you do have to process it.
Yes, I have to process it. Yeah. That is a big thing for me. And if I don't get that resolution or that process, then that's very difficult for me to let things go. My aunt is actually the one that really worked with me a lot, who is Buddhist, and she is also my godmother. She spent some time with me and told me about her journey, and, you know, through therapy, through meditation, through coloring. I know that sounds kind of silly, but just letting that simpleness of coloring kind of help you get out of that obsessive thinking or that executive level thinking to where you just bring it down a notch. You know, that's helped a lot for me too.
See, now it's funny because coloring would drive me insane.
Really?
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
Yes, I hate coloring.
Really?
Even when I was little, and I noticed my boys too. There's something about having to stay in the lines. Just, I don't know.
No, Big B hates coloring.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow, I'm
as
surprised.
Creative as he is, he hated coloring.
Well, no, that makes sense to me, because when you're creative, you don't want to stay in the lines. You don't want to go by someone else. I'd rather draw the picture than color it. I don't know.
Maybe that's why I'm a sucky drawer. So I was like, I can make this look amazing.
You can take something and fix it, whereas I guess we want to create it. I don't know.
I know, right? I don't know. I don't know what it is.
Well, so you really had to hit rock bottom before anything.
I accepted it. Yeah. Until I started
to
introduce myself to mindfulness, and mindfulness again is just being in the now. And it's not just anything that kind of helps you bring your presence to the moment versus being stuck in your head and focusing on the future or, you know, things that can happen.
I heard somewhere, and this resonated so much with me. I don't know who said it, so I'm so sorry. I hope I'm not infringing on any kind of, I don't know what, copyrights or anything, but focusing on the past can lead to depression. Focusing on the future leads to anxiety. Focusing on the present, I don't remember, but basically
so
focus on the...
I'm pretty sure that wasn't Jock.
I can't remember.
Yeah.
They probably weren't drinking while they were mentioning this beautiful quote, but and it's so true because I have been through depression. I've had suicidal thoughts, suicidal tendencies. Fortunately, that was a long time ago. I almost barely remember it at this point. I'm sure if I went into it, I could remember. And I think if it weren't for my husband and his support, I probably would not have gotten out of it. But, you know, there's always things, you know, and even like, you know, now I'm always reading books. I love reading.
Yeah.
Eckhart Tolle, he's one of the people that I love his book, The Power of Now. You know, I've read 10% Happier by Dan Harris. That one really resonated with me because it has more to do with being mindful while you're being a full-time working person, and of course a very important public figure. Well, I don't know if it's very important, but you know, a public figure. He's on TV. People know who he is. So I guess it's just been a journey, period.
I think it's always a journey. I think that's the point of mindfulness.
Yeah.
You know, it's the journey. It's not the end game.
Yeah.
So how do you incorporate mindfulness into your self-care? Because that's really important, self-care.
Okay. Well, at this point, I really don't... You know what? Honestly, lately what I've been doing is just binge watching TV.
Oh.
I have been binge watching TV that... Well, Queer Eye, that's one.
Yeah.
When I was meditating and going to school and being so productive, I did not watch any TV. And I wasn't doing it. I wasn't not watching TV on purpose. It's just that I really didn't
have time.
Yeah. I mean, you can make time for whatever you want. I've learned.
Yeah, for sure.
But TV just was not on my priority. But right now, lately, for the last couple of months, that's what I've been doing is just binge watching TV with
But you're
my
not
husband.
in school right now either.
Nope, I'm not in school.
I think it's just your little summer vacation.
It really is.
You're at Camp Gigi right
I'm
now.
at Camp Is this Camp Gigi? Oh my God.
I think you're at Camp Gigi right now. No.
Yeah, and so, you know, binge watching. Oh my gosh, I binge watched a show called Dr. Foster. It's such a guilty pleasure of mine. I
Really?
never thought it's about a woman
who
finds out her husband's cheating on her and goes crazy.
That
It's
bastard.
not anything that I ever thought I would be
your
into.
wheelhouse, though.
You think so?
Yeah, crazy women, cheating.
I usually try to stay away from that because
That's true.
it's
That's
my
a
wheelhouse.
trigger.
Yeah. So yeah. Oh, we'll go into that later. Jealousy. But anyway, so that's basically what I've been doing. I don't know if that's mindfulness. Yeah, self-care. Yeah.
That's kind of your self-care.
Binge watching TV.
So yeah, I mean, for me, self-care, I think mindfulness plays a big part in it. Like I've said in other episodes, you know, I do see my therapist, who I went to about a week after I completed my time with the outpatient treatment. So, I mean, for me, part of my self-care is, number one, making sure that I go to my therapy appointments. I think that's been a great...
And that's a tough one.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, I've been doing it for a year now.
Especially as a mother.
Yep.
We live in a small town.
Yep.
So we don't get a lot of... your therapy appointments don't take place here.
No, they
don't.
don't.
You have to drive at least an hour.
Yeah, 45 minutes.
45 minutes.
Yeah.
Just to go see your therapist.
Yep,
and
for an
that's
hour.
not including any wait time that you have or anything like that. You know, so
yeah,
I think that's really admirable.
Thank you.
Because it's really, really tough for a mother to take that kind of time out for themselves.
Yeah, of course. And to feel that guilt when you do take your time out. Like, I think it's easier for me to say, no, I need to do this because this is for my mental health, which affects you, my babies, and you, my husband, versus like going and getting my nails done, or, you know, it's money well spent to me. versus spending it, splurging it, I should say.
But even the fact that we have to justify that,
I know.
it's
so
it's one of those
disgusting.
things we shouldn't have to justify self-care of any kind. If you want to, even getting your nails done, getting a pedicure, a manicure, I mean,
listen, girl.
Yeah. My husband and I were just actually talking about this today because he wants to start getting pedicures.
I strongly support him getting pedicures,
and I do too. But it's so hard, and especially for him, he's a man. I don't know, or he's a man and a father. It's so hard to justify. He doesn't even like spending $20 on his haircut every 2 weeks. He feels guilty for that. Yeah.
Oh.
He really does. I had to tell him that is okay.
Yeah.
I, as the mother, as the wife, had to tell him it's okay to spend $15.
He's usually more McSpendier than you too.
Well, it depends on what it is.
That's true.
If it's a movie or a comic book or something like that, yeah, he'll spend the money for it. But I guess he's getting more...
Maybe that was his way of saying he wants to get long hair now.
Oh, Lord. He actually does want to get long hair, which I do not support.
Yeah, and
I support his haircut every 2 weeks.
Yeah.
I will give him $20 to go get a haircut every 2 weeks. But no, it's difficult as a parent, you know.
Yeah.
It really is
for sure.
To justify that rather than, you know, I could use that money to take my kids to the movies or to take my kids to the beach or whatever.
Buying them clothes or them food. Like, honestly, I don't even remember the last time I bought myself clothes and a pair of shoes. Like, it's easier for me to buy things for my children, of course, as any mother knows.
Oh, yeah,
than putting that
walk
effort
into Old
or time
Navy.
into me.
You start at the women's section, but where do you end up?
And then you pick up something, you're like, I'm not paying $45 or
I
$25 for this, and then you go, oh my God, $20 for this, it's a steal.
And for the kids,
yeah,
right?
exactly.
Oh my gosh. No, one of my guilty pleasures lately too, I actually just did it this afternoon, window shopping on Amazon.
Oh.
So what I like to do...
that could have went a whole different route, but okay.
I don't... What?
Never mind. Go on.
Lord. Okay. I that stuff goes over my head. I don't get anything. Anyway, so yeah, what I like to do is I like to go on Amazon and I like to pick out whatever it is. Today it was clothes.
Oh, yeah.
And I put it on my wish list.
Oh.
And that's it.
Yep.
And that's pretty much it. Yeah, that's my guilty pleasure is putting stuff on my Amazon wish list. I have about 20 at this point.
Oh my gosh.
I have one for vacations, one for camping, one for clothes, one for health and care and blah and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, the window shop. And the reason I like to do that is because I read somewhere that the act of browsing and looking for good deals is actually what increases your endorphins. It's not actually getting the item.
Getting the item?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So I don't know. I mean, I guess it works. I'm not sure.
That kind of, I mean, I don't know how this segues, but I guess it does. But like when I'm trying to watch what I'm eating, I have a very strong sweet tooth. I don't think it's just one tooth. I think it's my whole damn mouth. But anyways, I'll go onto Pinterest and look up desserts and just looking at the desserts.
You naughty girl.
Just looking at them. I probably gained like 5 pounds just looking at them. But at the same time, like, it kind of helps that.
Yeah,
craving,
no, I get it. I get it, yeah.
Because my lazy ass is not good at doing it.
You're not.
No, I'm tired. I don't want to do it. I just
not gonna
probably put 2 babies to bed. I'm fed a husband, got him all taken care of. Like, it's just me zoning out, you know?
So you basically just drink wine and look at good desserts on Pinterest.
Pretty much,
That sounds good.
Yeah.
Sounds like a good night to me.
Yeah.
A glass of wine and Golden Girls and I'm set.
Oh my gosh, I know.
That's a good Friday night right there.
Oh my God, we're so sad.
I know.
Super sad.
We're good.
Anyways, going back to it.
Mindfulness,
so
my bad.
How do you incorporate mindfulness now? I know you said right now you're kind of like taking a break from it, but that's just for meditation. Do you do anything else that could be considered mindfulness?
You know, one of the things that I do, especially yeah, I knew you were going to do that. One of the things I do, especially at work, and I'm sure you probably, or a lot of our listeners too, probably do this as well. I always try to put myself in the other person's shoes. Ugh. So I know, but you know, we all have our own struggles. We all have our own battles that we're going through, and before I speak, especially speak, but before I speak or before I judge, I'm so judgmental. I try not to be, but before I judge, I try to take into account what the other person is telling me or how they may be feeling. That's one of the ways that I incorporate mindfulness in my workday. But again, I think that's where meditation helps, because it makes it easier to stop yourself before you go there, before you just
Oh,
I don't know. I think that's another thing, is just stepping back and looking at the big picture.
Oh,
Is this really an emergency? Is this really going to make a big difference? There's something I've learned to take a step back, and it's not always about being right.
ugh.
I know, but it really, it's, do you want to be right or do you want to be happy? Or, it's one of those things.
I get it. See, I get it.
Okay.
I just don't practice it.
It's hard sometimes.
Oh,
it really is, I don't know. It's one of those things you just kind of, that's what I do. That's what I try to do. And it in the end, even if I'm festering on it at the moment, in the end, it ends up making my life easier. And I guess that's what I try to focus on, is I try to focus on the end point rather than, it's all about the now. But at the time, I don't focus on the now. I try to focus on the end point. So it's a balance.
Well,
it's a
immediate
big
now.
old balancing game,
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
I know for myself, when I feel overwhelmed or I feel very like something's weighing on me heavily, I take that moment away and kind of start processing those, allowing myself to really process and connect and emotionally figure it out and physically and, mentally. Another thing that's really worked for me, and which I loved a lot, is our walks that we've been taking at work.
Oh, yeah. That's true.
So,
not lately, though.
no, the weather's crap.
Oh, gosh. But we try.
We try. And I will give it to the boss man. He's very supportive of us going and getting our steps. Super, super cool. We take at least 2 walks around our place of work and try to do one in the morning, one in the afternoon. And it really does make a difference.
It does.
For me, self-care also includes exercising. I have been... And it's kind of like what you said. You're in that funk of, you don't want to do it. I'm kind of right there right now with kind of like healthy eating and, working out. I'm kind of at this like, I'm good in the funk. I'm good in the funk. However, once I do start working out, I'm very happy. I'm a much better person for myself when I am eating healthier. And I even hate saying eating healthier. You know what I mean? That makes it seem like condescend. It's
good and bad, and putting labels on things.
Yes. Eating in a more conscious
mindful
way. Enjoying the food that I'm eating and not just eating to
fill a void.
Gosh, exactly. So bringing mindfulness into those components of your life that you don't think about. It's really beneficial and really helpful, and I've seen positive things for myself when I do take those times away from myself or away from others and focus on myself, or not even that, just putting myself first. And that's a very difficult thing because I do feel guilt. I'm sure you feel guilt as well too. I'm getting
better, much better at that. I don't feel nearly as much guilt.
I think the older your kids get, the less guilt you feel.
Yes, that is true. I will say that once your kids get past the age of 2, it's much easier, much easier, because you can just kind of, sorry kid, you're on your own today.
Exactly.
Oh, I sound horrible.
No, she loves your kids.
I do. I love my kids.
But I think we all have those moments of needing to walk away.
Yes, and I think it's a good thing. I don't think it's not necessarily a bad thing.
No, and that's for all moms. Not just working moms, stay at home. All moms. When you need that minute to walk away, you need that minute to walk away.
Yes. Even if that means putting your baby in the crib and letting them cry it out, so you can go to the bathroom for 10 minutes.
And cry.
And just cry, or sit on the toilet, or watch cat videos, whatever you want to do. I mean, you just have to walk away sometimes. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. I think that's...
Did we say anything of value regarding mindfulness today?
No, I think we did.
You think so?
I think we dropped some knowledge on these people.
Oh,
Yeah.
another thing that I do, I drink wine.
Yeah. She's very good at that.
I'm very, very good at drinking wine.
She's very mindful.
I'm very mindful of drinking my wine every night.
Yeah. She enjoys the robustness of each sip.
Yes, I do.
Well, besides that, just love yourselves, guys. Make sure that you take that moment to, even if it's loving yourself, if you know what I mean. I mean, just, take that moment to really
love yourself.
Yeah, like,
just give yourself some love.
Okay, now I feel pervy. But no, love yourself. Take that moment. Walk away. Do what you need to do. Don't feel selfish. Don't feel guilty. There's 24 hours in this beautiful day. It's not crazy to give yourself just an hour, even 30 minutes, just to do something that's for you, that will put you in a better space, better thought process, better, better overall
and
feeling.
There is time. There is time for you.
Yeah.
I know it's hard. Sometimes it doesn't seem like it, but there really is. If you break out your day, you will find time for yourself. And whether that's taking a walk, meditating, or watching junky videos, does not matter.
Coloring,
counting,
do whatever you can do to make yourself just focus on the now. You deserve it.
Yes, for sure.
All right. Well, I think that's it.
Okay.
At least for me. Namaste.
Namaste.
All right. Well,
cheers.
Cheers. All right. Sounds good. So what was your high this week?
I don't know.
Oh my God.
I wasn't prepared for this. This plan wasn't thought through.
We literally do it every episode.
This is our third episode.
Well, we did the night before. Oh, yeah, it fell in the cheese. No. Our mic fell in the cheese. That's how unprepared we are.